55 miles off the coast of Gloucester, the Atlantic drops into a freezing, nutrient-rich abyss. That specific cold water is the secret to the world's most misunderstood soup. Today, true New England clam chowder has been bastardized into a thick, wallpaper paste sludge at tourist traps worldwide. But a historically accurate, perfectly executed chowder is a masterclass in delicate dairy emulsions, pristine bivalve broth, and rendered pork fat. We are stripping away the flowery shortcuts to rebuild this Massachusetts maritime staple from the ocean floor up. You cannot build ocean flavor from a can. We start with live cherrystone or quahog clams, precisely 2.2 kilograms or 5 pounds, scrubbed clean under cold water. Place them in a heavy Dutch oven with exactly 470 milliliters or 2 cups of cold water. Cover the pot tightly and set over medium-high heat, about 200 degrees Celsius or 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Steam them for exactly 8 minutes. The moment they pop open, pull them from the heat so the meat doesn't turn to rubber. Strain that liquid gold through a coffee filter. That yields about 700 milliliters, or 3 cups of pure clam liquor. The flavor foundation requires rendered fat, not butter. Dice 115 grams or 4 ounces of cured salt pork into small cubes. Place them in a heavy-bottomed pot over medium-low heat, exactly 160 degrees Celsius or 320 degrees Fahrenheit. Render for 6 to 8 minutes until the fat releases and the cubes are crispy lardoons. Remove the pork, leaving the liquid fat. Add 300 grams or 10.5 ounces of finely diced yellow onion. Sweat them for 5 minutes without browning. To create our thickening matrix, sprinkle in just 45 grams or 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. Now we build the body. Pour your reserved, filtered clam broth into that blonde roux, whisking constantly to prevent lumps. Bring it to a gentle simmer. Add 450 grams, or 1 pound, of peeled russet potatoes cut into precise half-inch cubes. The starch in the russets will break down slightly, naturally thickening the broth. Maintain the liquid at a bare simmer, exactly 95 degrees Celsius, or 205 degrees Fahrenheit. Cook covered for precisely 15 minutes until the potatoes are tender but still hold their shape when pierced with a knife. Never let it boil aggressively, or the potatoes will disintegrate into mush and ruin the silky texture. Here is where most restaurants fail: the dairy emulsion. You need 470 milliliters, or 2 cups, of heavy cream, containing at least 36% butterfat to resist curdling. In a separate saucepan, warm the cream to 80 degrees Celsius, or 175 degrees Fahrenheit. Never boil it. Slowly fold this hot cream into the simmering potato and broth base. Finally, fold in your chilled, chopped clam meat and the crispy salt pork lardoons. Hold the entire pot at 75 degrees Celsius, or 165 degrees Fahrenheit, for just 3 minutes. The clams only need to warm through. Off the heat, season with 2 grams or half a teaspoon of fresh cracked black pepper. A proper chowder requires homemade oyster crackers for textural contrast. In a bowl, whisk 240 grams, or 2 cups, of all-purpose flour, 10 grams, or 2 teaspoons, of baking powder, and 6 grams, or 1 teaspoon, of kosher salt. Cut in 85 grams, or 6 tablespoons, of freezing cold unsalted butter until it resembles coarse meal. Stir in 80 milliliters, or 1/3 cup, of ice water to form a dough. Roll it out to a 3 millimeter, or 1/8 inch thickness. Cut into small hexagons. Bake on a parchment-lined sheet at 200 degrees Celsius, or 400 degrees Fahrenheit, for precisely 12 minutes until golden brown and blistered. One vital rule of New England chowder: never serve it immediately. Like any complex stew, the starches and dairy need time to marry and stabilize. Once off the heat, let the covered pot rest at room temperature for exactly 45 minutes, allowing the temperature to drop to around 60 degrees Celsius, or 140 degrees Fahrenheit. If you have the patience, cool it completely and refrigerate it at 4 degrees Celsius, or 40 degrees Fahrenheit, for 24 hours. Reheat gently the next day over medium-low heat, never exceeding 85 degrees Celsius, or 185 degrees Fahrenheit. Garnish with fresh chives and those crisp oyster crackers. 3 distinct takeaways for an authentic New England clam chowder. First, harvest your own clam liquor by steaming fresh cherry stones for exactly 8 minutes. Canned juice lacks the necessary oceanic depth. Second, build your base with rendered salt pork and just 3 tablespoons of flour. The potatoes should provide the majority of the thickening power, not a heavy paste. Third, control your dairy temperatures meticulously, warming the heavy cream to 175 degrees Fahrenheit before integrating it to prevent breaking or curdling.